Alright, it's that time of the year again. A new Path of Exile League launch. Path of Exile 2 League launch. Wow, fancy. I forgot there was even a Path of Exile 1 launch. I feel like that shit died so goddamn quick. I don't even know what the League mechanic what was it? Oh, it was Atlas Memories. Oof. So apparently this happened yesterday. I was not aware. And I didn't hear about it until I was laying in bed and I seen it. The only two things I've heard about this is I didn't hear about it one time in 24 hours. No Reddit posts, no nothing. I seen posts people dying to monkeys and stuff. So I'm still in the subreddit. I didn't see no posts on that. Nobody messaged me about it. And the only thing I seen was last night going to bed. Was a clip of them saying they're not adding stuff. So, not looking good. I don't know anything else. And also the intern forgot to change the title of their broadcast, so it is still the Act 3 race. Oof. What's up, evading? Just because, I'm prepping right now. What, have you watched it? No spoilers. Here's what I want. I already know one of them's not happening. I want all the classes released. I know it's not happening because the clip was them not releasing classes. 2, I want all the acts released. 3, I want Blight. 4, I want the next race announcement. I want Act 6 race. 5, I want I don't know what I want. I want them to change the support skill system, because it feels like you can't support anything with anything. Alright. Now we can skip ahead. Okay, let's see. Not much, buckle up.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers from Grinding Gear Games, and welcome to GGG Live.
Why does he sound
Today
like
we're
he's
going to show you an exclusive reveal of what's coming next for Path of Exile 2.
sad?
Twitch
Words that
drops
I don't
are
think I can
enabled on
use
today's live stream,
in a
so you'll
YouTube
be able to claim your Sun Priest's
beginning
Incineration
broadcast.
rare finisher effect by following the instructions below.
Wasn't
Now with
there
that out of the
yesterday.
way, let's get started. It's time to give you a teaser of what's coming in Path of Exile 2, the third Edict.
Why does he sound so sad? Oh, and it's not looking good, is it? It's not looking good. Ooh, it's not looking good.
I have called you here to save our people, to save our way. Over the ages, we have known pain like no other, but we endured, and we became mighty.
Total League?
Now, outsiders dishonor our shores, and we have stood by, doing
King's
nothing.
March?
Hear my voice, ancestors! Show us your strength! Show us the true way!
New warrior class? Maybe?
I understand.
Karui weapons? Ooh. Okay. Couple new bosses. The bird that already exists. Oh, okay, another guy that already exists. The guy from the, ExileCon. Another guy from ExileCon. Oh, they're definitely releasing the axe. This is Act 4? The Sulfur Place? With Crowbird?
Rise.
Oh, yeah. Okay. 3 interlude acts. 3 interlude acts. What does that mean? 35, 24 new bosses. Yeah, this guy. Whoa. Massive skill reworks. 40 lineage support. Okay, okay. Okay. 150 new notables. Jesus. Trade. Okay. Okay. Pause champ. Oh, Abyss is here now. Is it as broken as it is in Path of Exile 1? Okay, okay, okay. Interlude side quest complete any order instead of... Oh, okay, okay. Choose your own adventure type deal. So this is in 8 days. Okay. We have 8 days to finish.
Now, as you can see, there's a lot going on, and we have a lot to reveal today. We'll start by going over Act 4,
oh my God.
the next chapter in the Path of Exile 2 storyline. But
this
that's
looks
not
better
all.
than there.
There's also 3 new interlude acts to get you to endgame, which means we're removing Cruel Difficulty 2. After that, we'll be going through the massive changes to characters. I'm super excited to show you how I've overhauled the entire support gem system, added new skills, and yes, there are buffs.
Thank you, please.
Next, we'll go over the Rise of the Abyssal.
Okay,
This
intern.
season's exclusive league mechanic.
Or
and talk about the
Jonathan.
new rewards, crafting systems, areas, and bosses that it adds.
Why'd you order it top to bottom and then
that, it's on
go
the
over it
changes we're
in
making
from
to the
top
endgame.
to bottom to
Then it's time to
side
talk
to
about
middle
items,
to up
crafting.
to middle
Oh, yeah,
to down?
trade.
What is going
That's
on
gonna be a
here?
big one.
The
We'll then go over our new
did you
supporter
go
packs
top to
and
bottom?
finish up with a live Q&A session
Okay.
where Ziggy D will ask Path of Exile
4
2's
new
game
bosses.
directors, myself and Mark, your questions from Twitch chat.
Abyssal.
And after that, at 4 p.m. Pacific, patch notes. They're not quite complete, but they should give you some nice details to chew on. We've got a lot to cover today, but first, another announcement. When the 3rd Edict launches on the 29th, we'll be having a free
You
weekend for
missed
Path
one
of
them,
Exile
too.
2.
What the fuck?
That's right, Path of Exile 2 will be free for the first time without requiring an early access key.
Oh.
The free
It-
weekend will end on
This
September
will be
the 1st,
interesting.
so you'll have plenty
To
of
see what
time
the
to give
player
the game a
numbers
try.
hit.
All right, let's get started with Act 4.
A 4-day.
The story continues from the end of Act 3. Doryani has agreed to help you find an ancient weapon that can be used against corruption, the instrument of the 3rd Edict.
So is the
The
Kurui
weapon
base
was broken
weapons?
in ages past,
Oh,
but he believes that the pieces may be found in the Kurui archipelago, the home of the Kurui tribes. You will need to journey to Kingsmarch,
Why would the weapons, though, change the skill color?
hire a ship, and set sail.
Wow.
When you open the map, you can choose to sail anywhere you like. Act 4 is completely non-linear, and you can visit the islands in any order you choose. Will you
Okay.
visit the pristine beaches of
I like
Whakapanu
it.
Island? The Kurui whisper of a curse that afflicts all who travel there. Perhaps it's related to the weapon you seek.
That skill looks
Or
like
maybe
ass.
you will visit the volcanic shores of the Isle of
It
Kin,
looks great, but it looks
But
like
can
you
it
would
be
never
more
ever use that
restless recently?
skill.
mining for sulfite and driven by some dark force. Perhaps you will choose to consult with one of the local Kurui tribes.
Unless
Their
you could
ancient
s-
wisdom can
unless
hold
the-
clues to finding the 3rd Edict.
Like the center, all the
No matter where you
projectiles
choose
hit.
to go, you will fight dangerous beasts,
There's overlap, maybe.
find fabulous treasures, and battle incredible bosses.
A challenger! Come,
Huh?
Yama sees your soul!
Oh, I think this is
There are
just
8
a
islands to discover, each
boss.
teeming with
I
its
thought,
own
I
flora
thought that
and
was like an
fauna.
arena. Like
Act 4
boss after
contains
boss
over
after
100
boss.
new monster types, 16 new areas, 12 new bosses, and plenty
Didn't
of
it say
other
24 new bosses?
interesting encounters.
Oh,
There's a huge amount to show, but we're not going to spoil too much here. We want to give you a chance to discover it all for yourself.
34? He
What
said
happens
14.
after Act 4?
The
well,
thing said
until
24.
now you had to repeat the entire campaign again before you could face the endgame.
Okay.
But after adding Act 4, the game is far too long to make you do that.
Yeah.
We needed something else to do in between the end of Act 4 and the endgame.
I thought they
So
would
what
make
else
us
could
do
we
it all
do?
over again.
Add 3 new mini-acts, of course, and we're calling them the interludes. The interludes are a set of 3 temporary side stories that will be included in the game until Act 5 is released. That will take you to level 65 where the endgame can begin.
So there's 7 acts?
The first
Kind of.
interlude sends you on a journey
4
back to
normal,
Ogham.
3 regular.
Renly has been leading the efforts to rebuild Ogham village after the defeat of Count Geonor, but there's a new danger afoot. The nearby town of Holton is surrounded by an impenetrable darkness, and each night their corrupted townfolk emerge to raid the local farmlands.
Yeah, well, the white was from Pop Street.
You'll discover new areas.
Way smaller.
And new bosses.
That skill looks like fucking ass.
You'll need to find your way through the darkness.
Maybe if it chains?
Uncover the source of corruption.
Soon you will serve our master.
And defeat it.
Yes, I shall dance with their corpse.
And that's just the first interlude.
Oh, okay.
The second interlude will have you return to the Vasteri Desert, where Asala has been given a sacred duty. When the skies align, the gifting of water requires a chosen Sekima to meet with the Selkari, guardians of the sacred water, but they're nowhere to be found. You will need to track down the Selkari, find those responsible for disrupting the gifting.
Maybe if that skill, one of the projectiles and it chains,
discover the secrets of the ancient ritual.
Does a spiral.
Discover new locations. And ultimately help Asala carry out her sacred duty.
That looks like a crazy boss arena.
As Royal Thaumaturge of the Vaal, Doyani had plans within plans to save his people from the cataclysm perpetuated by Atzeri's lust for power.
No, sorry,
One such plan involved sealing a group of willing Vaal deep in a great mountain vault near the home of the Asmeri, deep enough to survive the cataclysm. Even though thousands of years have passed, he believes that their descendants may still live, and may be key to defeating the beast. The journey up the mountain will be dangerous. New foes stand in your way. And the further up the mountain you venture, the colder it will become. Explore caves of ice and enter the vault itself. Who can say what you will find?
How are these
within?
not just acts? How are they
Interludes are
acts?
6 to 7 areas each, and generally include 4 boss fights as well.
They have.
When you put that together with Act 4, that adds up to 35 new areas in the campaign and 24 new bosses.
How are these not just acts?
It's worth making clear that the interludes are temporary.
They're
when
the
Act 5
exact
and
same
6 are added,
size.
the interludes will be going away.
There's
These are
7
side stories.
There's 7 zones.
But don't worry,
They're the same
bosses
size.
and areas that make up the interlude are all part of the endgame. We're not just going
And
to
they
throw
all have
them away.
bosses and a story.
And with that,
how are these
we
not
don't
just
need
acts?
cruel difficulty anymore. We do know that it was a pretty big chore to have to play through the campaign multiple times on each character, and this was a huge reason that the campaign could feel like a bit of a slog when playing through again. But we do also have another new feature to address that particular concern as well.
I think are good enough to keep.
So let's talk about sprinting.
Sprinting?
In 030, when you hold down the dodge roll button, your character will go into a sprint after they finish the roll. This is available on all character classes, and there's no limitation on how long you can sprint for. The primary purpose of this feature is to make navigating areas faster when out of combat. Because of that, if you do take a hit while sprinting, you'll fall to the ground.
Oh my god.
The best idea is to use a skill when you see monsters. That'll break you out of the sprint so you can engage with no danger. If you do need to run away from monsters, just hold spacebar. You won't be vulnerable during the roll, and you're faster while sprinting than basically any monster in the game, allowing you to retreat from combat.
Please rake.
Sprint is a pretty significant change to PoE 2's gameplay.
Slower than
what
this.
I like most about it is that we can accelerate the pace of the game for those who want that, without having to compromise on PoE 2's more
so
visceral
much better
combat
for racing.
systems. Okay, so that's the new extensions to the campaign, but there's a whole giant league to play through as well. I'll leave that to Mark to talk about later.
Huh?
And that's because what I want to talk about
Besides
now is the new stuff for your characters. And probably one of the biggest new systems here is with the support gems. Now, support gems are one of the most interesting elements to creating a build. They're what enables so many interesting mechanics and different ways to play. But PoE 2's support gem system has just never been quite right. One of the major issues is the limitation of only having one support gem of each type on your character. We didn't want builds to just become using the same 5 most powerful supports in every skill. The problem with this design, though, is that it's actually working against using multiple skills in your build. If you can only use each support gem on one skill, it means that you're encouraged to go all in on that one ability. And we want to encourage you to combo your abilities, something needed to change.
Problem.
So with that in mind, we've removed the restriction of having one of each support gem per character.
No, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. The problem is, that's not the problem. The problem is that the skill gems all sucked. No, Jonathan, no. The problem was they sucked. You needed to add more and interesting ones so that you could have different and interesting ones that were all like decent and not shit balanced.
Now use as many copies as you like. This should drastically increase the amount of possible builds
Is it
and
lagging
increase the
or
amount of skill
am I
diversity.
lagging? I don't think it's lagging.
There are a lot of potential builds that suffered from the previous restriction. For example, a poison build previously couldn't add poison to more than one skill. They couldn't use stacking poison on more than one skill either. This severely limited your ability to combo with anything outside of the specifically designed poison archetype, but now you can. Many utility skills previously couldn't scale to endgame, because the supports that would make them scale were more useful to use on other skills. You would never speed up
Yeah, maybe
killing
that's
Palm with
better.
martial tempo, when you would much rather use it on your primary skill instead. There are more examples like this all over the place. In addition to that though, we thought there wasn't enough feeling of progression in the supports as you went through the game.
No, sorry.
There were only 3 tiers of supports, and many of the most important ones were given out at tier 1. Also, there were no strict upgrades, meaning that upgrading supports when you ran out of sockets required quite a lot of thinking.
Give me a
In
second.
order to
This
solve
is,
these issues, we
important.
now also have multiple levels of many supports as you go through the game. For example, double barrel support gives you an extra bolt,
What?
but at the cost
What? Why not just leave the one support gem thing in then, and then if you want to use it different support gem on another skill, you just have to use
to
the
30% less
tier
reload
lower.
speed. At tier 2, the penalty gets lowered to 20%. But then at tier 3, the support gem gets something new. It now reloads automatically when you heavy stun an enemy. In some cases, the highest tiers might work a little differently, and you'll have to decide if you like the upgrade or not, depending on your build. For
Yeah, you
example,
can control
rapid
click your
casting.
character.
The first couple of levels
Click
gives
your
15,
character
then
on character
20% increased cast
selection,
speed.
go to
But then
town
at tier
instead of loading
3, it
back
changes
into
to a
the
new
desktop.
approach. For each different spell you cast in the last 8 seconds, you get 10%
nice, I
increased
guess.
cast speed, which could be a pretty big bonus if you use a lot of different spells. So that's pretty good for upgrades through the campaign, but we wanted to add a little more spice to the endgame for supports too. And that's where our new system, lineage supports, comes in.
Okay.
You can think of these like unique items, but for supports.
Okay.
There are supports that are only available at endgame, but they're much more powerful. Like Ratha's Assault. It's an upgraded version of Double Barrel that reloads your skill as you dodge roll, as well as increasing the number of bolts it can hold. But it does mean that it's the only way you can reload the skill now. Now, unlike regular supports, you can't find these through the uncut support gem. Just like unique items,
I like
many
that.
of these can be found from specific bosses.
I think that all support gems should be like this. All gems should be like this.
And there's a ton in the regular drop pool too.
All of them should be in the drop pool.
Some of them are fairly rare.
and You're doing the axe should just give you one
Others fairly common.
as you go through.
Some of them are build defining.
No uncuts. Get rid of this uncut gem shit.
Others are just straight up power upgrades. All in all, there's around 40 lineage
don't make them
supports being added
ruthless
throughout the endgame.
rarity.
So there's a lot
Make
of
them
power
like-
to find out there.
They drop
Now,
normally.
the new support gems are certainly going to open up a lot of builds, but of course we have a huge range of improvements to
The
individual
lowest
character
tier
classes
unique.
as well.
Same as that tier.
As well as adding new skills, we had a big focus on buffing existing skills so that they can scale well into the endgame. There's a huge amount to cover here,
I don't care
so
about
we're
this
not going
at
to
all.
discuss everything.
It doesn't
We're just
matter.
Gonna quick
They're gonna
fire through
change
some
this
of the
every
coolest
league.
changes.
It does none of this matters.
We wanted to make cold a
Damage
more
numbers.
useful element on the Ranger, so we've expanded the cold tools available. As well as increasing its range, Escape Shot now creates fragments of ice whenever it hits the ground. These fragments explode after a short time, making the skill
Absolutely
better
none of
for
this
killing groups of
matters.
enemies. But not only that, we added an ice fragment support that
It
creates
matters
more
for
of them when
this
killing frozen
league,
enemies.
but it's like
And a new buff skill called Ice-Tipped Arrows that allows all your arrows to create ice fragments.
ice just looks
This
good.
already gives Claire to ranges
They
wanting
really
to use
did
ice.
really well with
But to
ice.
take further advantage of the ice fragments, Freezing Salvo has been upgraded to shoot additional cold arrows towards every fragment, giving you a nuke-like ability.
Towards every fragment. I
We've
fucking
also
hate.
modified Snipe to
Wait, is
consume
this with the
frozen from
bow?
enemies,
Oh,
dealing
wait,
a
I
huge
can
amount
use
more
the bow.
damage,
I
giving
really
you a
hate
nice
the,
ice single target option.
crossbow.
And something
but
you might
the
notice about
bow-
this is that the bonus is a lot higher against bosses. This is actually a change you'll see throughout the entire game. Since it's a lot harder to freeze a boss, you should get a bigger reward for it.
This version has anticipated that PoE is rapidly moving away from that.
Another theme you'll see throughout the game is making movement feel better. Toxic Growth as a
It's
skill
good.
was pretty cool, but a bit annoying to use with the jump that it had.
They're just like giving up on all
Now
their
Toxic
innovation.
Growth is a rain skill, so you can spam it more easily. And we've also added a new poison skill while we were at it, called Toxic Domain. It creates a small area around you that makes all your attacks create toxic growth pustules, but attached to monsters. Another skill that was annoying to use was Electrocuting Arrow. It's now just a regular
I
arrow,
haven't used a
making
single
it
one
easier
of
to
these.
use.
I haven't used
But
a
it also
single
means
one.
you can support it with projectile supports. And it now also has area
Were
of
any of
effect,
these good or
making it a
bad
tool
before?
for more than just single target, and allowing it to scale
I
into
read
the
that.
end.
I read that you can control the character.
We also added a new spirit reservation
So
called
that's
Mirage
fine.
Archer.
That's cool.
This is a meta skill that allows you to create shadowy clones of yourself to use a skill of your choice.
Do they take damage? Minion?
Of course, one of the other big problems the Ranger had was survivability. Evasion was the weakest of the 3 defenses, and we wanted to change that. Currently, evasion
is
doesn't evade all
ass.
types of hits in the game, so you're still vulnerable to things like slams or unblockable attacks. To make evasion characters more tanky, we're adding a new mechanic called Deflect. Unlike evasion,
Okay,
Deflect
by
works on
chance to deflect
everything.
damage from hits
And if you
preventing
successfully
fortune
deflect a
damage
hit,
from those
you take
hits
40% less
around
damage.
Exact.
Items can now give you a
Chance
mod
to
that gives you
force
some amount of
depending on the
deflection
attacker's
based on your
accuracy.
evasion. And there's a bunch of it available on the passive tree too.
40%?
Deflection is rolled in addition
I think
to
you
evasion.
still died at
so this
anything.
is an upgrade for regular hits too. And unlike evasion, there's no maximum chance. You can reach 100% deflect against all hits if you spec into it enough.
I guess
Of
that's
course, this is a buff
a
that
nice
helps all
another
dex
layer.
characters, so the mercenary and the monk, but especially the huntress, are seeing big defense boosts from this as well.
This doesn't fix the
Speaking
problem.
of defensive mechanics, let's talk about block and parry. Now, one of the big concerns on the release of the Huntress was parry feeling unreliable. One of the big reasons for this is there's a lot of hits that are not blockable, and thus not parryable either. So a huge balance change we're making is that now everything is blockable, except for specifically unblockable red flash skills that bosses use.
Okay. Blockable or
This makes
parryable?
parry much more reliable. And not only that, but to make block and parry nicer to use, you now also move faster than before while using these abilities. This is a massive buff to passive block as well. So to counter that, we did have to lower the max passive block a bit, but overall you should feel much safer.
What does he mean passive block? Like percentage block?
Fire skills on the
Or like
warrior were not
holding
really
down the
cutting the
button.
mustard. So we decided we needed to upgrade a bunch of them, but also add some
I feel
more
like that
as
would
well.
be active block though.
Let's start with a buff. Volcanic Fish are now branches into multiple fishes, giving it much more clearing potential.
Was this skill already really good?
We've also added a new skill called
Oh
Forge
no, that's
Hammer.
PoE 1.
This skill throws a molten hammer that does a slam at a distance. You can recall the hammer back by using the skill again if you like, but the cooler thing to do is to use a Warcry near it. Using a Warcry makes the hammer explode, making a
Oh.
bunch of volcanic fishes around.
Damn, this skill is ass.
Volcanic fishes re-trigger when you slam them, so it's a great skill to make a flaming arena to fight a boss.
I thought it was... Oh, wait. Oh, it's...
We also got Perfect Strike to have a much larger area of effect, and changed Molten
as bad as
Blast
I
to
thought
not
it
always
was.
force
You
you,
can
to move
re-trigger
forward.
it multiple times.
Trust me, it feels a lot better to use now. The skill now has massively boosted chance to ignite monsters
It's
as well.
still probably not great, but...
And you're going to want to ignite monsters due to a new glory skill called Ancestral Cry. Ancestral Cry charges up with glory by igniting monsters, invoking King Kalm's favor. After you do,
Can I go back real
to
quick?
ignite Molten Blast to not a flaming arena. Using a Warcry
Okay.
makes
It's
the
just
hammer
duration.
explode,
So you can do it
making a bunch
if
of
you
volcanic fishes around.
10,000 attack speed. You can,
Volcanic
you
fishes
can do that
re-trigger when
explosion
you
10,000 times.
And you
Probably
use it
pretty
to channel
great single
Kalm's
target.
Ancestral Power
Yeah, there you
skill
go.
called
Holy shit.
Ancestral Cry. Ancestral Cry charges up with glory by igniting monsters, invoking King Kalm's favor. After you do, use it to channel Kalm's ancestral power. Every attack will be ancestrally boosted with fire. Your very steps will explode, triggering volcanic fishes, and molten balls will erupt from your attacks.
Like rolling around, will that also trigger
Warrior
the
shield
thing,
skills were
or just
another area we
walking?
wanted to improve. Now that we've got sprint, we actually don't need to have a cooldown on shield charge anymore. It now also does more damage the further away you are when you use it.
God. The race is going to be so fast.
Shield wall got significantly upgraded AoE.
No, if you
Also,
use
you
that,
can
you're
shield
fucking
charge
trolling.
right through it to trigger all the walls.
You're so fucking trolling if you
We
use
also added
this.
a new shield war cry. Fortifying Cry gives you a defensive buff,
Does
but it
Ice
also
Wall
builds up
work the
charge on your
same?
shield that empowers your other shield skills. And Magma Barrier now doesn't require timing in order to use. Just wait for your shield to charge up and block. Seismic Cry now stuns enemies that are primed for stun.
Do you ever block?
And we changed the Sunder interaction with Armor Break. It now also gives a Sundered Armor debuff that makes enemies take 40% extra physical damage.
Like active block?
Great for bosses. Ancestral Warrior Totem has undergone some pretty significant changes too. We wanted the skill to feel more like using an alternate. that summoning an ancestor to fight for you was a big deal.
I've never blocked
So we've
in
changed
any
this totem to require 3
game,
endurance
really.
charges
Like,
to summon,
Souls
and
games
massively buffed
either,
its damage.
I've
It
never
also
held
now
the block
scales with
button,
weapon
ever.
damage too.
Parry, never ever held the block button.
Since there's no limit anymore, if you build around generating endurance charges, you can summon an entire forest of totems. In order to make that easier, we added some new sources of endurance charges. There's now a support to make perfect strike generate charges, and a support for generating endurance charges from heavy stuns as well. Speaking of totems, we wanted to upgrade the Warbringer. Among the other changes we've made to this class, Answered Call now gives an extra totem, and the spirits have just been generally buffed in many ways. Use it with your limitless ancestral warrior forest to make an army of Karui that would make Tukohama proud. We've also merged the Great Wolf Howl and Warcaller's Bellow support, so that you can get all the benefits with 1 point. And Encased in Jade no longer removes the Jade when
the
getting
spirits
hit,
actually
get
hit
a
the
much better
boss?
defense.
I don't know.
Next up, let's talk about accuracy. Accuracy was always intended to be something that warriors didn't need to care about very much so long as they're in close combat. But unfortunately, that's not currently the case.
What is that?
This was particularly annoying with skills like Bone Shatter, which you certainly don't want to mess with. So we significantly buffed your chance
Unfucking
to
believable
hit
that
at close
shit would
ranges
miss.
when you don't have much accuracy.
During the race.
Warriors shouldn't require any accuracy investment
It felt like
in
a
order to hit
bug.
with close range attacks.
More than it actually felt like missing.
We also wanted to
Like the
improve
animation
armor.
was like not connecting.
And one of the major weaknesses of armor is the inability to defend against elemental damage. In order to mitigate this, we're adding a lot more of the stat that allows your armor to defend against elemental
I
damage.
bet they're gonna go the
It's
last
now
default
available on
route.
items and in a lot more places on the passive tree.
Oh. That makes you
One of the most
significantly
important
tankier.
improvements we've made in
That's
030 is to
30%
declunk the
damage
action and
reduction.
flow of shooting crossbows. You can now reload crossbows without any movement penalty.
They're also putting it on the.
But not only
the-
that,
the,
all skills that can be used while moving now slow you for a shorter amount of time.
The fucking
This
tree
change
thing.
benefits everyone, not just crossbow skills. With both of these changes put together, the run and gun playstyle feels much better. It's hard to explain how important this change is for the feel of the class. The Mercenary is also a good chance to talk about how we're rebalancing to make comboing skills much better. Take Shock, for example. It buffs damage and lasts 4 seconds right now, but that isn't really giving you enough time to take advantage of it. If you're going to add a lightning skill into a build that otherwise wouldn't use one, we need to make mechanics like this much better. So we've
Okay.
increased shock duration on monsters to last 8 seconds. And skills like Plasma Blast, which are intended to be good at shocking enemies, now increase the damage bonus by a lot more. You'll find changes like this all around the game. Chill
I
now lasts
don't
8
wanna
seconds,
play
giving you more of a reason to
crossbow.
weave in cold damage. Freezing skills are better at freezing.
I don't.
Burning
I don't
skills need to cause burns that last longer. But making skills like Permafrost
That's why I
bolts and
was saying
Incendiary
people
Shock
found
double down on how they're
crossbows
supposed to be
worse than
used,
bows in most
it makes using them in your
cases,
build
and
alongside other
then
skills
use
much more likely.
Sets reloads.
We're also making sure to buff specific combos too. The freeze explosions from frag rounds now chain to nearby enemies. And using high velocity rounds with armor break will now fragment the opponent's armor. This
I'm
causes
not.
monsters to take a portion of high velocity rounds damage with every subsequent hit.
You know
even
what's
tiny
crazy to me?
pellets.
Look about it like this.
So that means farm with a shotgun blast is way more effective.
All these changes and everything. What
Now,
were
there's
they
a lot more buffs to
smoking when they
crossbow
thought this
skills,
game
but
was
for
going to
now, I'm
release
just
2
going to talk
years
about the
ago?
new one we added, the Mortar Cannon. This one lets you socket any grenade skill, and using it will summon a cannon which loads and then fires the grenade you choose. Another issue on the Mercenary were banners. They were just not very
Concerned
good,
about how far they're
so we're doing a
going
big
with all the
upgrade to them.
elemental effects.
They now last longer, don't disappear when moving out of them, and we removed the Valor mechanic. They now just give a much more consistent and stronger buff.
I don't have
and you can
any
use them when you get enough glory.
perspective on this. I don't know.
On
just
which
all
one
these
of the main
changes are just
focuses
like,
was making
okay.
various
I've
minion
never
types
used
more
any of these
useful to use
skills.
together. Melee minions in particular were just not that great compared to ranged ones. As a starting point, we just straight up removed the requirement for minions to have accuracy. Attack minions now
That doesn't
always hit,
change
which
anything.
makes them way better.
Nope.
Root's got some good numeric buffs, but we also added a new command skill where they do a war cry that intimidates enemies and detonates any frozen monsters and allies around you in a big cold explosion.
Ooh. Having one of those
We've
guys
also
might be
changed the Frost
kind of
Mage's
good
command
now.
skill to an ability that adds ice armor to your other minions, adding a layer of defense. And it makes them deal cold damage back to the attacker as well. The ice armor also makes the minion count as frozen command skill to an ability that adds ice enemies and detonates any frozen monsters and allies around you in a big cold explosion. We've also changed the Frost Mage's command skill to an ability that adds ice armor to your other minions, adding a layer of defense. And it
Ew.
makes them deal cold damage back to the attacker as well.
Ew.
The ice armor also makes the minion count as frozen, so the Brute's Warcry can detonate them too.
Ew.
Unearth was changed to
fucking
work on
ice
corpses of your dead skeletons,
mages.
allowing you to summon the minions more easily in boss fights.
What did they do
And
to
they also
my
got a new
boy?
jump ability, allowing them to get into combat faster. Ray's Spectre was also feeling pretty weak for the spirit cost they have. To be honest, we were a little afraid of these when we first balanced them. We've both decreased the spirit cost for a
They're all
large range of
fucking
monsters,
ass.
and have significantly increased Spectre damage too. They should feel a lot more impactful.
Me and Z tried hundreds of these motherfuckers.
There's also
They're
a lot of new
ass. They're all
spellcaster
ass.
weapons with newer cult skills. But I'll just talk about one of them that I thought was particularly cool. The
What did they
Reaping
do to
Staff
my
is
fucking
actually a
frost
wicked
mages?
scythe that gives you a new ability called Reap. When an enemy is low in life, you can dash forward and rake enemies with the scythe to cull them instantly, healing you. It can also inflict critical weakness on
Oh,
enemies
this is.
too.
I thought it was Rake.
Now, there's a lot of balance changes in the Witch's Ascendancy classes, but I'll just talk about two of them for now.
It's just Rake,
On the
but
Blood
worse.
Mage, you were previously required to spend your first points on Sanguimancy, which really was supposed to be the downside for being able to access the powerful abilities on the rest of the class.
Why do?
In order to make picking the Blood Mage a better
You should
early
start
option,
here at the bottom.
we made Sanguimancy free, unlocking the power of the rest of the class immediately. On the Infernalist, the Demon form wasn't something people were really using because you lost your weapon stats while transformed. Well, you no longer do, so it's a much better option now.
Holy shit!
On the Monk, the Wind skills
Demon
needed a big upgrade
form-
for sure.
Does he
Staggering
understand
Palm
what he
can
just
now
did?
You no longer do, so it's a much better option now.
Demon form. I wonder if you could sprint in demon form. If you could sprint in demon form and they've nerfed Rake, this is going to be the new fastest. Unless there's some other change I don't know about.
On the Monk, the Wind
You're gonna
skills needed
be-
a big upgrade for sure.
It was already doing
Staggering
insane
Palm
amounts of
can now
damage.
stack up its duration if you use the skill multiple times in a row. So you can keep the effect of all your skills
It
throwing
all
up wind
depends on whether
much
you
more
can
easily.
sprint with it, though.
Wind Blast had the purpose of building up to dazing an enemy, but dazing just
Patches,
wasn't
you
worth all
know,
that
those
effort.
things we thought
Now it just
were
dazes on
important
hit,
to
and a single
choices.
Wind Blast will
Well,
make
now
all
they're
your
gone.
skills stun
Okay.
enemies more easily. Following up with Vaulting Impact on a dazed enemy previously did a bunch of stun. Now it allows you to break your enemy's stance. When their stance is broken, following up with a fast attack will do way more damage. A cool build
What's
that
the
certain
difference
people
between that
always
and just
enjoyed in
boys breaking
PoE 1
them?
was hand-to-hand combat, but until now we just didn't have a real way to make it viable. Well, that changes now. The Monk, as a true martial artist, now has the ability to learn the Hollow Palm technique, a keystone that lets you use all quarterstaff skills while unarmed. All quarterstaff attacks now have a special unarmed version, and you get further bonuses to all your attacks from stacking Energy Shield and Evasion on your character. A new
Wait.
keystone. And
1% more attack speed per 25 item evasion on equipped armor items. Chance per 10 energy shield. This seems good. This seems pleasant.
you get further bonuses to all your attacks from stacking
I've
Energy
read that
Shield
like
and
10
Evasion on your
times.
character.
I said that's good.
A new keystone we also added to the Monk section of the tree is Walker of the Wilds. This changes Mana Leech
Wait.
to work with elemental damage.
Distractions.
A new keystone we also added to the Monk section of the tree is Walker of the Wilds.
I read it the first time, the
This
second
changes
time,
Mana Leech
and
to
the
work
third
with
time.
elemental damage instead of physical, which is pretty
a
useful for
reader.
all those elemental attacks the Monk has. But it works well for the
Somewhat
ranged
of
too.
a reader. Aficionado. They call me
Now,
the
one
book
of the
reader.
least used Ascendancy class in the game is the Acolyte of Chayula, so we knew we needed to make some changes here.
This is
One
the
of key
worst
things we had to
ascendancy.
do was make the chaos damage
in the
that the
game.
Acolyte can do much more useful.
Completely
So
fucking
I've added
awful.
a new skill allowing chaos damage to ignite, shock, chill, and freeze, embracing the elemental prowess of the Monk in a truly chaotic fashion.
Wow, we're just giving up on the chaos damage
In
completely,
addition,
aren't we?
he can make all of his chaos damage leech. And
Oh.
we're buffed into the breach and embrace the
How much was
darkness
that?
by
Was that
moving the prowess of
100%?
the Monk in a truly chaotic fashion. In addition, he can make all of his chaos damage leech. And we've buffed into the breach and embraced the darkness by moving the effects of the 4-point nodes
I feel like
into the
that's
base
not
skill.
as crazy as it seems.
He also gains a new notable, Grasp of the Void, which leaves void illusions behind you as you dodge roll. If they're killed, they do
Void
massive
illusions?
explosions of darkness, dealing damage to everything in sight. Now let's talk Void, which leaves void illusions behind you as you dodge roll. If they're
Where's the
killed, they do
illusion?
massive explosions of darkness, dealing damage to everything in sight.
Just the black hole is the
Now
illusion?
let's talk about sorceress skills. One of the things we wanted to improve on the Sorc is the ability to use multiple elements together more effectively. Now, this might seem small, but one of the things pushing you towards using a single element is debuffs like elemental curses, which lower resistances of a single element. In order to fix that, we're making quite a lot of game-wide changes to these kinds of mechanics to broaden what they apply to. So for example, there's no longer 3 curses for fire, ice, and lightning. Instead, there's just a single curse that buffs all 3 at the same time.
Oh, interesting. That's
And things like Frostbomb, which give
interesting.
cold exposure, now give elemental exposure. You can use it to buff any of your other skills. We also wanted to make switching between different weapon sets
Was
smoother.
Elementalist
so you can use
really
different elemental
hurting?
staves more effectively. To do that, we've removed
This
the weapon
seems
switch
kind of
time,
wacky.
and now happens instantly. This applies game-wide too.
That seems like an insane
didn't
amount of
just wanna stop
damage
there.
increase.
We wanted to add some specific mechanics that work between different elements, and that's where elemental infusions come in. Certain skills can now drop
should use
elemental
multiple
infusions.
elements to do the
For
same
example,
damage.
when a frostbomb explodes, it leaves behind a cold infusion on the ground. After picking it up, you can spend it on one of any number of different skills to transform how they work.
Unless they've changed damage
Spark will create
numbers,
a
this is
node
just
of
going to be
cold
like
infused
a
projectiles.
massive damage increase. Like more than double.
Ice Nova will leave a chilled area on the ground.
Don't use that skill.
And we also added a new low-level skill that fires ice shards. Use it with cold infusion though, and the ice shards will explode.
Ooh, kind of
Orb
like
of
that
Storms
one.
now generates lightning infusions when you cast enough spells near it. And that's all spells, by the way, not just lightning. Once you have one, you could cast a lightning flame wall, which adds both fire and lightning damage to all the projectiles that pass through it.
Wait, what?
Or use it with cold infusion though, and the ice shards will explode. Orb of Storms now generates lightning infusions when you cast enough spells near it. And that's all spells, by the way, not just lightning. Once you have one, you could cast a lightning flame wall, which adds both fire and lightning damage to all the projectiles that pass through it. Or power up Ember
That's
Fusillade
hard
with
for me to
lightning,
understand.
which will generate arcs to nearby enemies as each fireball hits.
Just using the
Maybe go
skills,
lightning
but
on
using the
lightning with
flame wall?
This skill is now a projectile, and by infusing it, you can go full Palpatine. Get
So
fire
using
infusions by
lightning
blowing
makes
up
everything
bosses with a
else
living bomb.
Turn to a lightning
Then use them
skill
with Comet to summon a
hybrid.
giant fire meteor from the sky.
So then
Or
once
use
you
it with
have the
Firestorm,
lightning
which
infusion,
transforms it from a
you
small
start
area
using a
into
different
much bigger
skill,
one.
like fire, so now
Firestorm
everything
is
is lightning
unique,
and
it can be
fire
infused by
infusion,
multiple
and you
different
switch to your
elements at the same
cold.
time. Add an ice infusion to rain down ice at the same time as the fire. And add lightning to add deadly strikes from the heavens into the
Memos
mix.
with this one. If anything
Or
is
use a Will
living
of
long
Free to
enough
generate
for
a
you
storm
to
that's
do
truly
activate all
apocalyptic.
your infusions, something is very wrong.
Cold Snap has been simply turned into Snap.
Very, very
Previously, you could use it to
wrong.
shatter ice, but now it works to detonate all of the different elemental ailments and makes them leave behind infusions.
Why is this man taking
And just like how you could previously use
10
it on
hits to
Frostbolt, you can
die?
now also use it on Orb of Storms and Solar Orb to detonate those as well, which means you can create many infusions at once.
It's harder
You
for the
also have
little
a Spirit
skills now.
Reservation skill and a support gem
It's
to
not
help
free
generate
for
them
other-
too.
Well, what about the Chaos guy? He got
On the passive tree,
Ignite
we added
on
quite
all
a
his
few new
chaos skills.
keystones to the Sorceress section. Here are a couple of examples.
okay.
The Black Flame Covenant keystone converts your fire spells to chaos and causes your ignites to deal chaos damage.
Oh, like this
Your
one right
fire
there.
spells and ignites will also turn purple.
That one right there changes your ignite.
The Ritual Cadence keystone causes your invocation skills to trigger more times, but makes them trigger periodically over a longer duration instead of one. Great for those auto bomber builds. Now, in addition to skill changes, we've added a lot more options for the
I think I
passive
wanna
tree
try that
for
out.
each class.
That seems like it
Overall,
might
there
be
are more
fun.
than 100 new notables on the tree, usually around 20 per class, along with smaller clusters as well. Check out the old version, and here's the new version. It's a lot more dense, and there's more interesting nodes than before. Now, we probably
looks like
can't go
there's
through too many
one-
of these in the live stream, so I'll just show you
One
one for
new
each class's area of the
pathway
tree.
on each
We tried to
in
be a
each
lot more
zone.
thematic with the new nodes. So, for example, the Molten One's Gift. It lets the benefit of Armor Break apply to
new,
your fire damage.
there's one new cluster on each zone. Like right here, there's 3. Now there's 4.
As your situation
where there
becomes
was
more and more
2,
desperate.
or where there's 2, there's 3.
A lot of these have themes aligning with
It
ascendancy
looks like
classes.
that was the
Like for the Gemling Legionnaire, for example. You have crystallized immunities, which makes you immune to different status ailments, depending on which support
I wonder if
color
these are
you've
static.
socketed the most. Another ascendancy class align notable is Sanguimatic Rituals. It allows arcane surges to generate life instead of mana, unlocking that support gem to be used with the
150.
Blood Mage Ascendancy. In the Sork area, you'll find these Archon nodes that allow you to convert all of your elemental damage to a specific element. You become a Lightning Archon when you spend enough mana, after which all your skills will be converted to lightning, and you will do extra lightning
I mean,
damage
this
as
is
well.
kind of,
We have
you
ones
would
for
spec
cold
this
and
if you
fire
don't want to
too,
deal with
different
what
triggers. Here's another cool one.
you were saying
Elemental
earlier,
Practitioner gives crit
using
bonuses
all those
if you've
skills to
triggered
do
a
the
skill
same amount of
recently,
damage.
while also making crits generate
Become
more
an
energy for
Archon,
triggers.
and then it doesn't matter what skill you're
Or
using.
maybe you'd like the Great Boar. It
If
gives
there's
you a
probably
reason to
one for
stack
each element.
dexterity to make you
There's probably
tougher,
one for lightning,
giving a bonus
fire,
to life and stone
and cold.
threshold.
Maybe even chaos.
Or the Cunning Fox.
Or maybe the chaos one is
The
just the
strata
fire
gives
one.
you 5% quality to all your gems. Now, another major change is attribute requirements. We felt like players probably had a few
They did
too
that
many
with
nodes and
mana,
attributes
but not,
and enough and interesting passives.
It
So we
converts all
lowered
your fire
attribute
damage as
requirements
well,
by
right?
25% across the board. That means you'll have more points to spend on interesting notables rather than just needing to allocate on
How
strength,
does this
dex, and
affect?
int.
Does this affect anything?
Now, there are
Oh, it
way
makes,
more
I don't
changes than
need,
just
it,
these. These are just
you
some
might
of the
not need
cooler
break
ones we wanted
points
to
for
show off.
leveling.
But
Like
I'd
getting
say that's just
28
about
to
enough
get
for now. We're not
the
even half done
two-handed
yet.
mace.
So I think it's time that we talk about the League, the rise of the Abyssal. And to do that, I'd like to hand things over to Mark.
What is the League?
As you just saw, even though
Just
there are
Abyss?
major changes to the campaign for this update, we want to make sure that every time you come back for an expansion, each area feels different with something extra going on. It is really important to make sure your experience when
Wonder
returning
how
between
the-
expansions is
the
fresh
spirits are
and
doing.
filled with new content. And the way we did this was through leagues. Every expansion we make has a league, which not only has a fresh economy, but also has new content exclusively available in that league. So, let's delve into the details of what Path of Exile 2's first
already done this
official
once.
league is bringing to the table. The Abyssal are a race that have mastery of
Yeah,
forbidden magics and
The fire
necromancy.
emerging mobs based on the
They were
monsters
thought to
and
be
monsters
extinct,
killed.
but have merely been biding their time underground.
The fucking
We
eater?
first encounter signs of the Abyssal in
Hello?
Clairfell. We
Abyssal
discover
Eater?
that during the night, weaker members of the Undead Legion have been attacking the encampment. The townsfolk require your help to investigate where the monsters are coming from and put a stop to their attacks.
Who's this in my camp?
Ancient creatures lurking beneath the surface.
As you proceed through Rayclast, you'll find fissures in the earth connected to larger pits. The monsters normally inhabiting the area are being affected by it, harmed by it even, having their
Yeah, it
souls
makes Crossbow
eaten to
look
strengthen
real
the
good
abyssal
right now.
underground. As
He's
you
not
defeat
just
the
getting run the
monsters,
fuck down.
The fissure closes and abyssal emerge, angered by you killing their food. Once all those fissures have been sealed, the pit activates, and more abyssal pour out. This is where the larger and more dangerous monsters reveal themselves.
Okay.
As hordes of abyssal spew out from the pit to take your soul.
Kind of like, Spires?
If you kill
kind
a
of?
magic pack, then magic abyssal arise. If you kill a rare, then a rare monster will emerge from the pit, having absorbed some or all of its modifiers for itself. This means the monsters emerging will
if you
generally
kill
be more
two?
difficult and more rewarding. As
Is it
each
two
modifier
different
gives better
rares, or is it
rewards.
two rares with, or is it one rare with two
If you are able to kill
stolen
them all,
mods?
the pit will seal shut. As each pit is closed, it reveals a potential reward. Abyssal
Potential
troves will
reward.
rise up out of the pits, allowing you to get some epic loot.
What does he mean, potential rewards?
Areas often contain many pits, with many fissures, and the amount goes up as you progress through the game, getting more intense.
How many are we talking?
It doesn't stop there. When monster
PoE
mods are
1,
absorbed,
10?
they have a chance to become infused with the dark necromancy, transforming them into abyssal modifiers. For example, you defeat this monster with the Mana Siphoner modifier. Their soul is eaten by the pit, and a rare monster emerges. The Mana Siphoner modifier has transformed into
Yeah, he's,
Soul Siphoner, and is now amplified in danger and reward.
The only loot on screen I'm seeing is a wisdom scroll,
Abyssal pits also interact with
In
other monsters and
maps.
mechanics.
by the way.
If you defeat a rogue exile that's near one, it'll be revived as a Lichborn that has multiple abyssal modifiers.
Ooh.
Lichborn exiles even have their own unique jewel they can drop, if you are lucky enough to encounter and kill them.
Oh, so comboing exiles
If an abyss
with
spawns near a
that
boss,
seems really good.
killing it will summon a gigantic Giga Larvae creature.
What is that? That's a
Monsters
big
imprisoned in
boy.
essences near abyssal pits are affected by the abyss
That is
too.
a big boy. Let's
They
see
will
that
come
guy
with a
again.
Giga if you are lucky enough to encounter and kill them. If an abyss spawns near a boss,
That thing is
killing
massive.
It will summon a gigantic Giga Larvae creature.
Oh my god, can we summon it as a specter?
Monsters imprisoned in essences near abyssal pits are affected by the abyss too.
This looks like they did a
They
really
will
good
come
job
with
on
an
the
additional
abyss.
new essence item that can be used to craft your items.
This looks good. They did a good job on
So,
this.
that's your bread and
Good
butter
job,
of the
Mark.
Abyssal League. Kill surface-dwelling monsters, kill the emerging abyssal.
God, is this
close
not
the
just better
fissures,
than the PoE 1
overcome
League?
pit encounters
mechanic?
and reap the rewards.
Is this not just
There's a
better?
lot more to this league, however. As you complete abysses, you can find ancient pieces of bone, preserved
More
from
than
the
just
remains
enemy
of fallen Lichborn.
can one-shot me because it
These are
has
one of the many
10,000
rewards
damage
for your mission to
percent
seal the
increase.
pits. You can use this on a rare item to imbue it with abyssal magic, adding a special hidden modifier to your item. But how do you reveal it? In Act 2 of the campaign, you'll encounter a new area. This area is
Wait.
overrun by the...
Please, I don't know what he's gonna say. This sounds fucking lit. You enchant your items or your weapon, hopefully it's other pieces of your gear too, and you don't know what the fuck it's doing until you do some... It's like, you can't just like put it on, put another currency on, you know what it does. It's like, put it on, and then you have to go do like a trial of the Sekima with it equipped.
Abyssal and the
Something
Lost
like that.
After clearing through this
can be
area, you'll
totally
find
fucked.
the Well of Souls.
Or totally good.
A giant cavity with a massive vortex of souls swirling beneath you. So how do you reveal the mods on your abyssal infused items?
You don't have to
Obviously,
wear it.
just throw them in, right? Yes, that's exactly what you do. Before throwing it in, you are given the option of how you want to transform it, in the form of a choice of
Oh,
3
it's
different
betrayal.
modifiers. Once you've chosen your desired mod, throw it in, where it will absorb the power of the souls, and the ominous creature will then retrieve it for you. These modifiers can be ones from the core mod pool, all the way through to specialized modifiers
Holy
that
shit.
cannot normally appear on
Moves
items.
so fast.
During the campaign, you can use it as
not
a
as
way
cool as
to
I thought it
more
was gonna be.
easily add useful
Sounds kind of
existing
annoying,
mods.
actually.
But during the endgame, there is a whole set of new and powerful mods you can add to your items.
Motherfucker disappeared on the left
Like
side.
this
It
mod for
instantly
crossbows that allows
went
you to
like
place an additional
hundreds of feet
ballista
down,
totem.
came back.
Or this one that adds spirit to your staff.
This seems a little annoying.
Or this one that allows you to generate more
No.
combo with your quarterstaff skills.
It's kind of like betrayal, but now you
And
have to go
speaking
do a
of endgame,
betrayal.
You can also use
Instead
the
of just
system to
talking
craft waystones. With a
NPC
preserved
in,
vertebrae
Hideout.
fused into your waystones, you can get some new modifiers that push difficulty and rewards to new heights. Here are some examples of those mods. You
Rare
always get a choice of
monster,
3,
eat souls,
so you
slay
can
monsters
avoid
in their
anything you
presence,
don't
players
think your
steal their
character is
eating souls.
capable of.
Okay. Mana
With
Siphon
this
Ground.
modifier,
That
the
sounds
natural inhabitants of the area
great.
are all spawned near abysses. And
The
there
worst
are up
mod
to
in the
9
game.
additional abyssal pits in the area, making it just a full-on abyss ruckus. Or this one, which causes the final abyssal pit in the area to always result in a boss encounter, be it either one underground or one that emerges out.
Wait, what's the difference?
There
Like
are
the big
dozens of these waystone modifiers in total
Worm
you can
Boy,
get from this crafting.
or can the actual boss pop
That
out?
covers the new crafting mechanic.
That's spooky.
So what's left? Well, we talked about how when closing
So-
pits, you can get abyssal troves. But sometimes when closing an abyss, you'll reveal an underground cavern that leads to the abyssal depths.
Hey, that was
After
cool.
jumping into the depths,
Holy shit,
you'll
an
find
actual
an
animation.
abyssal city, swarming with legions of the undead. When underground, every single rare abyssal enemy will have an abyssal modifier. And at the end of the dungeon, you'll even find a rare with a more powerful Lichborn modifier. Once you're able
It's
to
just a
defeat
rare?
this powerful rare, you can also find some nice rewards. Aside from the entire area being valuable
What, single
due to
orb
the
of
abyssal modifiers
augmentation?
on the monsters,
It's a greater one, though.
it has its own specific drops too.
What is he
One
fighting?
example is a set of lineage supports that can rarely be found in these depths.
Wait, what was he
like
fighting there?
Kurgle's leech.
Wait, hold on.
You'll
What was
find
happening there?
And at the
I
end
didn't
of
see
the
an enemy.
dungeon, you'll even find a rare
There's the enemy
with a
right
more
here.
powerful Lich-born modifier.
Oh, right here?
Once you're able to defeat this powerful
here?
rare, you can
It's
also
dead.
find some
What's
nice
he fighting
rewards. Aside from the entire area being valuable due to the abyssal modifiers on the monsters, it has its own specific drops
I don't see an enemy.
One example
What?
is a set of lineage supports that can rarely be found in these depths, like Kurgle's leash.
It's kind of like
This support
The
empowers
Delve,
both you and your minions when you command
Abyss.
them, granting
kinda like that.
unholy might to you both.
right?
Another depth-specific outcome is a set of omen-like items that amplify your abyssal crafting.
Where there's like a kind of a.
Additionally, we're adding some
room.
new socketables that can drop from the
Oh.
abyssal depths.
I guess that's a
Take
unique though.
Ulliman's Gaze, which can be socketed into your armor. These are a bit special in that you can only have one equipped at a time, but give some pretty powerful effects.
One equipped per gear, one
Think of
equipped
them as
over
almost
your
a
entire
unique
character.
socketable for your equipment. In the endgame, where you can still find depths, you also start to find a different type
Is
of
that one
underground
one
chamber.
per gear piece, or is that
In
one
these
per
areas,
character?
You'll find an ancient spire, a device being
that
used
not just
by
Eater?
commanders of the abyssal factions to
Wait,
plunge
is this not just
Breakblast
Eater?
into a lightless void.
That is Eater.
Your goal is simple: kill
You
this
may
commander,
have dipped him in
destroy
oil,
the
but
spire.
that is Eater. I know those
There
attack
are
animations
4 bosses
anywhere.
in the Abyss League, and there are some pretty cool uniques available from them.
Ooh,
An example is
our
this
gamble belt is back.
Darkness Enthroned. It has 2 sockets. But hold
I
on,
like that it gains
socketables
charges.
don't work on belts. Well, this belt has a special mod that allows it to count as a different slot for the purpose of socketables.
Wait, what do you mean?
This one, for
how is it-
example, counts as a
Oh.
helmet.
Wait,
I kind of want one that
do
counts
all
as
of
a
them
body
roll
armor.
differently?
I wonder how rare that one is. You can also find this unique jewel,
Ooh.
Undying Hate. This jewel transforms part of your passive
Mark is
skill
trying to
tree
ruin
into
my
an
fucking
abyssal
life.
version, and has multiple depths. The deeper it goes, the more of your passive
That
tree is
looks
affected,
real good.
allowing you to fulfill your fantasy of becoming part Abyssal Lich.
Oh, that looks real
Now,
good.
the last thing that Abyssal commanders can drop is a finger
How are
of
we
the
still
Lich.
going with this league
But
mechanic?
what use do you have with a random undead
PoE,
finger?
yeah, I was thinking the exact
Well,
same thing.
the
Yeah,
next time you
PoE,
return
simpler
to the
game,
Well
by
of
the way.
Souls, with the finger in your inventory, your character will almost feel compelled. To do what, though, you might ask? To jump in. The items you threw in came back more powerful, right? So, what's the worst that could happen? Well,
Yeah, wait,
you will just have
true.
to find that one out for yourself.
Holy,
Along with the
there's
introduction of
a
Act 4
50% chance
and
you
the
just
interlude,
die.
We will be adding 25 new in-game maps.
Okay.
These maps will contain all the new monsters and bosses we're adding, improving variety.
They did feel a
and
little
giving you
stale.
opportunities
In-game
to experience
felt a
the new
little
boss
stale.
fights many times.
I felt like there
Let's
wasn't
take a
very
look
many.
at some examples. Rock Pools is a map where you explore a shallow rocky coastline, surrounded by coral and filled with sirens. At the end is a giant goblin king boss, ready
Oh,
to eat
that was Queen
sulfite
of Phil.
and squish you like a bug.
Those normal sized
Holton
people.
is an Ezomite township
big
which
boy.
has seen better days. Explore and clear the township to find a gothic, reaper-like boss with the ability to manipulate storms. and
They
fry you
fucking
with both
love
lightning
reusing
and
this
wither you
fucking
with
boss.
chaos. Given some of the new bosses added are a bit more epic, such as
That
the
boss
Act
is
boss
reused
and
so
final
goddamn
bosses of each
much.
interlude part,
It's a cool boss.
it would be a bit of a waste to just use them as regular map bosses.
Okay. Yeah, no, makes
Instead,
sense.
we'll be adding some new mechanics to the Atlas that use them. These start appearing pretty fast into the endgame and will help bridge the gap until you do your pinnacle bosses.
Okay.
In the desert biome, you can encounter a wild sandstorm. 3 maps around the sandstorm contain a device you must activate. Upon doing this, the sandstorm's
What happens if
magic
you
is
miss one?
disrupted, revealing the map inside and allowing you to access it and find the cause.
What happens if I'm like here and I miss it in the
This
map? I don't
presents
find it and
itself
I
in
leave
the
the
form
map
of a
and go
boss.
somewhere else.
Similar to the existing
Do I just
Citadel
lose that
bosses. This
thing?
boss is a Faradin Swordmaster, who has been blessed with the power of a Time Djinn, allowing him to take his swordsmanship to the next level by replicating himself maneuvering rapidly, and severing the fabric of time itself with his powerful slashes.
Holy shit, it's fucking
In the water biome, you'll
upgraded
encounter a
Duresso.
giant maelstrom, where
It's
one
big
of the
boy
maps
Duresso.
surrounding the water biome connects to it, but the connection is obscured. You must run the maps nearby,
Wait, what?
hoping to find a beacon, which will remove the maelstrom and reveal the connection to that map.
So
Another example
the
is
other one
this
you'd
Vaal
get 3
vault
and 3
in the
different
mountain
maps. That one you just had to
How
get
do we get
1.
inside? Running the adjacent maps to it will yield a key, which you can then use to gain access to this vault.
It's kind of
Or
all the same
You
thing.
could just trade for one, I guess.
You kind of just
Use
we're
the
just
key to
changing
dispel
the
the powerful force field surrounding,
textures.
leading to the Vaal Elite
But
and
they're
the
all kind of the
rewards
same thing.
inside. These all contain Uber versions of the Act 4 boss, and the bosses at the end of each part of the interlude.
Oh, that's the Act 4
Each
boss.
have their own
really
exclusive drop
understand.
pool of new lineage supports,
It's a dual boss
which, as
fight.
Jonathan spoke about earlier, are powerful support gems that modify your skills in pretty crazy ways. As an example of a lineage support which can come from the Faradin Swordmaster mentioned earlier, we have Garukhan's Resolve, which causes your critical strikes to fork, but requires some mobility on your
Critical
part to
strikes.
properly enable.
How does that work on a
From the
melee
boss
attack?
sealed in the Vaal Vault, we have Paquate's Pact, which supports
does that
your
mean?
war cries, causing them to inflict massive amounts of corrupted blood at the cost of your own life. Additionally, some maps can now spawn summoning circles, a room resembling an Ezomite henge. Activating this
shit.
henge will spawn bosses.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.
Multiple bosses?
We'll also be making changes to how affixes and waystones work. As the current prefixes equals good, suffixes equals bad, iteration isn't quite hitting the mark.
Yeah.
We tried something new here in Path of Exile 2.
Yeah,
but after
I'm okay
seeing
with
the
this
feedback,
change.
We decided we actually liked what we had in Path of
Yeah,
Exile
go back
1
to
more.
Path of Exile. I'm okay with this.
Like Path of Exile 1, each affix will now be both difficult and rewarding. Waystone mods now grant an increase to the number of waystones dropped,
Yeah.
and an additional specific upside attached to it.
They're
This
all
means
basically
as you roll
bad,
your map, they will
but
continue to
each
get
bad
more
one comes
difficult
with its own greater and
more
greater
rewarding,
reward. I'm okay with
and
this
allow
system.
you to customize the difficulty and rewards of your maps.
This is better, I think.
For example, the Frostbitten mod, which causes enemies to deal cold damage, also increases the rarity of items dropped as its upside. Whereas the Of Venom suffix modifier, which causes enemies to poison on hit, has the upside of granting increased pack size. Some maps will end up having a lot of rarity, some a lot of pack size, and others will just have a mixture of everything.
Are there no good nodes though?
Due to
Wait,
now having more
there should be
modifiers
some
granted
good
difficulty,
affixes
we
or
will, of course, be
prefixes.
reducing the difficulty per modifier to account for this. So, that's your Atlas, maps, and Waystones. But what about Breach, Ritual, Pinnacle content, and others of the sort?
You can buy
We're making
and
some
sell uncut
changes
gems
around
on the
this too.
exchange.
The first change is that you'll now be able to invest 2 points into your specific League Atlas trees before having to run the Pinnacle content. There will be a specific objective for each type of content which grants you those points. For example, in the case of Delirium, it's simple.
Wow,
You just need to
holy
find
shit.
and kill one
My
of the bosses in a
fucking-
map, Omniphobia or Coast.
You just feel my GPU.
The rest of
increasing
the
in
points for each
temperature.
content come from the Pinnacle content, but we're making some changes to accessibility here too. Currently, access to most Pinnacle content requires the same key at the easiest and most difficult
Wait, did
version
he
of the
say how you
content.
get the 2 points before
This
the boss?
creates a negative feeling where
What
at lower
unlocks
difficulties,
doing it? Just
instead
doing it
of wanting
once?
to run the content, you're often better off just selling it to someone who can run it at maximum difficulty.
So that they haven't like people use
To
high level
address
uncut
this,
skill gems to
each
create
content
low
will now drop
level skills
splinters,
unless it was in the
which
patch
will
notes.
not form into singular items. Instead of using the singular combined item in the realm gate, you can now just bring your splinters. Upon inserting the splinters into the realm gate, an interface will appear, allowing you to pick your difficulty, and you'll notice each difficulty has a different entry cost. This means if you want to run easier difficulties, it costs less, which also allows you to run this content much sooner into the endgame.
Does that lock mean you
Because
have to
these
do
encounters
all
now
3?
just require
Or the
splinters,
first 2 to get to the
their
3rd?
corresponding Atlas tree no
Or
longer
just the
affects
first
the
time you do
difficulty
it,
of them,
it unlocks the
and
next
has
one
been
forever?
changed to purely affect the content and maps on the Atlas. The Arbiter of Ash works a bit differently. Instead of requiring splinters, he still needs crisis fragments. We now have only 2 difficulties of the Arbiter. The first, requiring the existing fragments obtained from citadels. The second, Uber Arbiter, requires Calamity Fragments. These come from Citadel bosses also, but only once you've allocated the maximum number of points in your boss Atlas tree, ensuring those Citadels are at their highest difficulty level. Since we're talking about pinnacle content, we also felt that the leveling curve in the late game was a bit too steep. We've smoothed this out a bit so that it's easier to get to the mid-90s. We've also added some new in-game unique items. Let's take a look at a couple. Thunderfist is a pair of gloves that grants Crackling Palm, a skill which empowers your unarmed attacks, granting the ability to cool down the storms
and
themselves
you can use
on enemies you hit. Put simply,
you can use the new monk nodes.
Every monster you hit with your unarmed skills will be struck by powerful lightning.
Oh, we're so doing this.
With the aforementioned Hollow Palm technique to embrace your true unarmed prowess in combat.
So doing
Another
this.
unique we're adding is Henekura's Sight. Equip this amulet to be granted the power of the Mother of Death herself.
This looks like
This
ass.
is reflected by granting you a skill called Foresight.
Hindsight?
While you have Foresight, your dodge roll no longer avoids hits. But instead, being hit while dodge rolling restores you to full life and makes you unable to die for a brief period of time.
What the fuck?
You'll notice when this does occur, a copy of your character appears and takes the full damage. This is you seeing that
What
future,
the
as if you
fuck?
hadn't been wearing the amulet. Ultimately,
That
your in-game
seems
experience should be
fucking
more streamlined.
broken.
With new content to find, you'll be able to invest in your Atlas trees sooner.
You become
engage
damage
with pinnacle
immune?
content faster, have less FOMO running said pinnacle content, reach higher levels easier, and do all of that while
fuck
finding
is
many
that?
new chase in-game items. Talking about finding items is one thing, but what about crafting them? We've taken a step back and looked at some of our crafting systems to make some notable improvements. Let's start with essences, which suffered from an issue where the regular essences
are we
were
still
effectively
going?
useless and didn't give players the tools or excitement that a crafting system should provide. To alleviate
Keep in mind, the
these
PoE
concerns,
1 League
essences
took
are being
a
changed in
year
a few
to
ways.
develop.
Firstly, they're being changed to function like regals and add specific modifiers with specific values, meaning you know exactly what you're going to get.
Wasn't the
We found
PoE
that
1
players
League
were
like a
often bottlenecked by
20-minute
regal orbs
video?
when crafting in the campaign, so this helps to fill that
We're like
gap,
an hour in.
allowing you to better upgrade your items.
Yeah, we are an hour in.
For example, this Lesser Essence of Flames, which will be able to add a flat amount of fire damage to your magic martial weapons. Secondly, we're adding many more tiers. That Lesser Essence of Flames, for example, has a regular variant and a greater variant too.
Ooh, I kind of like
even
that.
more fire damage with each upgrade.
I kind of like that. It makes these
The
feel a lot
intention
better.
of this is so that when you find one early on, you don't worry about holding on to it till later.
It
to
makes it
use on
feel
a
like
higher
more
level
like
item.
like you're building
You should
up
feel free to use
crafting
them as they
mechanic,
come,
not just
get
like
powerful
this is
upgrades during the
basically
campaign.
a alchemy orb.
Lastly, our highest
like
tier
that.
of essences,
That's a good change.
now called Perfect Essences, will function like a Chaos Orb instead of a Regal. So it will replace one of the modifiers on your rare items with the specified mod. Such as this
That's a
Perfect
little
Essence of
too
Flames.
gambly.
You'll notice this one doesn't just add flat fire damage like the ones before it. The Perfect Essences often give something a bit different, with some opportunities to be pretty damn powerful. There are many different essences, each with many tiers, covering many of the more core modifiers you'd want on items early on, through to chase specialized
I can think of how that
ones
would
for
be broken in
in-game.
PoE 1.
Speaking of
Locking
in-game, we really
prefixes
wanted to
and stuff.
expand our crafting options for late in-game crafting projects. You might have noticed that at in-game, you get way too many transmutes. Wouldn't it be nice if some of those didn't drop, but instead you got something a little more powerful?
Okay.
At higher levels, you can now find Greater Orb of Transmutation and Perfect Orb of Transmutation. These can be used on normal items to upgrade them to magic, ensuring that the modifier generated is of a minimum level. This is similar to how you find higher tier items on the ground, but for crafting. These higher tiers will also exist for Orb of Augmentation, Regal Orb, Exalted Orb,
This
and
seems
Chaos Orb,
awful.
meaning you can get all of the orbs required to take your item from normal
This seems
rarity
awful,
to
right?
a fully completed
seems
rare with guaranteed high
Like
tier
complete
mods.
garbage.
On top of these new core crafting currencies, we wanted to make sure there are powerful crafting bases to use them on. Now in endgame, you can start to find exceptional items. These are items that drop at normal rarity and are perfect for your from-scratch crafting projects. They can come with extra quality, up to 30%, or an additional socket to use your crafting socketables in. And yes, they can be corrupted for yet another socket. You can also get exceptional unique items.
They're basically chase base. So now you're
Add
you're not
even
only
further to
chasing
your
base
crafting
items
arsenal, we've
because you
added a
can't
whole
scour,
suite of
you're
new
chasing
omens to ritual content,
those
and removed some
exquisite
of the more
base items
unimpactful ones that weren't being used.
that you have to val.
Some of the new omens include
make a
the
perfect
Omen
item.
of the Ancients, which will cause your next orb of chance to not destroy the item,
I
but
don't
generate
like where
a
this is
random
going.
unique of the same class. Or the Omen of Sanctification, which is my new favorite. This will cause your next divine orb used on a rare item to re-roll the values of its modifiers, allowing it to exceed the normal minimum and maximum values, raising the ceiling on the new most powerful rare items in the game. This omen will also cause your item to become sanctified. Sanctified items cannot be crafted, just like corrupted ones, so consider carefully when you use this.
It's like I'm
Another is
turning
the
into a
Omen
mirrored
of
item
Chaotic Monsters,
or vald item.
which will cause your next Chaos Orb to re-roll all modifiers on a Waystone, allowing you to fix your maps
This
if you get some
seems
modifiers that are not feasible
insanely
for your build.
complicated. Like it lost me. There's
Besides
no
these
fucking way
examples,
the average
there is
player
a huge variety of new omens for you to
doing any of
discover
this.
in your ritual encounters.
They're putting all this up for auction and
With
they're
the
just
release
selling
of
it.
Act 4, notably taking place in the Kardori Archipelago, you'll be able to now find a new currency item, Hinikora's Lock. Hinikora.
The problem with like the 3 tiers of currency is you're in the exact same place you were before. You have this useless currency, but now when you spam it, it gives you higher tier useless mods. So it's just it's basically just, instead of using 10 items with 10 transmutes to get the mod you wanted and hopefully a good tier, now it's like 2 with 2 items, 2 or 3. No, that's not even possible because every mod is going to roll the same. So no, it's more like 100 items with 100 transmutes is now however many different types of prefixes are even in the game, like 25 or something. So now it's like 25 or 50. So you went from like hundreds to like 50. It's still it doesn't solve the issue. It just
The
makes
Kardori Goddess
less
of Death
clicking.
has the power of foresight and is able to see many futures, including the outcome of your next craft. So, imbuing her lock onto an item gives you that same power too.
This is all PoE on
For
stuff.
example,
Nothing's
you'll
changed
know
here.
whether or not to use an Exalted Orb on your item, as you will know exactly what the outcome is. So, with all these new crafting improvements, it's safe to say you're going to be making some epic items, and not necessarily just ones for yourself. So given that, it's time to talk about a massive one. Trade.
How
It's finally here. The
no one cares.
fully asynchronous trade.
How
Over the years, the way players trade with each other in Path
I guess how good would this be for the getting an exceptional item? I seen it was like level 28 you get in maps, and you use greater currencies on it for a new character. So like your level 28 character will have like an exceptional higher tier. It's better for twinking, I guess. Maybe.
Responses from people who are either AFK or just can't be bothered.
Even if we're like no one cares. No one cares about this. No one cares. Who cares about trade?
We're adding a new system that allows you to buy items from other players without requiring the seller to be present. They can continue
I guess
farming,
that's
killing
fine.
monsters, AFK as they
I guess
please,
that'll be nice.
can even be offline.
Because I instead of just finding gear, I'm like, oh, that'll be good on another character. I can kind of make some twink gear a little easier.
In the Meridian Free Traders
But I don't know.
Over the
It feels
last few
kind of
years,
useless.
since Path of Exile 1's storyline, Faustus has handed down his knowledge.
No one asked for this for the past 12. No one cares. I don't care what he's talking about. It doesn't matter. At no point in my entire lifetime will I be in trade, so it just does not matter.
you will need to acquire one.
I don't know what
Just by completing
he
the
showed a
quest,
window that
you'll
looked
also
like
see
a
the
fucking
island in Act 4. Allowing you
a
to take
ritual
slice
altar
of this,
window with trading. I don't know.
looking at your new home and base
Maybe
of
every
operations.
profile gets their own
Once you go back to your hideout,
page
you will
that they
now
put everything
see
and you go to their
providing your
profile and you
merchant exchange,
pick and buy all the
also
items out of it.
serves as
I
the
don't care.
figurehead in your new trading empire.
Doesn't matter.
So,
The currency thing though,
system work? In the existing trade system,
I
you
think
would list
that's
items for
either
sale
gonna
in
suck
premium stash tabs.
or it's just gonna be like, oh, that's
When
nice.
someone wanted one, you'd have to
I don't
take
think
it
it's
out
gonna be
yourself
meaningful to
and
change.
trade
I
it.
like the essences. The essences seem real good. That seems
Instead of using those, you can get
like a
items
really
in
nice
hand
change. I
so
like
you
that a
can
lot.
sell them for
It
more.
makes them feel
Each
like
item must
actually
have a
like
price
kind of
set.
like good regals
The prices
instead
are
of
set
kind
using
of shitty
in-game currency
alchemy orbs.
such as exalted orbs or chaos orbs.
I like it.
Once a price is set, other players will be able to find the
Oh,
item
it's
by
exactly what I
searching
thought it
for the
was.
trade
Yeah.
website.
It's a
Once
premium
desired
tab that
item has been
you.
found, you can hit a button which will instantly teleport your character in-game.
They
to
should
that
make you buy another tab for it,
Then you can
and
immediately
it costs
purchase the item.
$50
And while there, if
per
you want,
league.
browse their other goods.
$1
This
per
is a good
transaction.
deal someone else hasn't yet discovered. You'll notice that as a buyer, on top of the currency the seller sets
We get
for
this now.
price, it also costs gold to purchase an item.
Just wanted to talk
As
about
Ange has
currency. Though.
bills to pay after all. As a seller,
Whatever.
you'll immediately
It's the same as
receive a
the exchange.
notification when an item of yours is sold, and can also see an effect above Ange in your hideout when she has unclaimed currency. Just go talk to her, claim
They
your
were so
currency,
against this for
and continue
years.
playing at your leisure. As many people already acquired premium stash tabs for the purpose of the trade system, we wanted to add a way for you to convert your existing tabs to merchants tabs, if you want. You can do that here, on the website, but only if you purchase those tabs before the release of the third edict. To clarify, the existing trade system will remain fully intact, so your premium stash tabs will not lose any of their functionality. We just figured people might want to switch over to this new system. We
But
expect
after
a
the leak,
lot of
they'll make you
feedback
buy
around
it?
this new system, and are looking forward to trying it out with you.
He said only
As we
before
are
this
not able
league.
to
So
test
after the
internally
league,
with an
you have to buy
entire
them.
thriving economy,
Good.
there will certainly be some
good,
kinks
good.
to work out.
Fuck them.
Based on how the system goes,
Get
we will
that
be
credit card
adding
out.
it to Path of Exile 1 when ready, so any of the tabs you purchase will also be usable there later. Next up, we're going to be talking
Now,
about
this is
new
what's
supporter
interesting.
packs. Today, we're launching 2 new series of supporter packs.
Holy shit.
The Justice and Trathan Executioner packs.
Okay, that looks a little wonky.
Each tier contains the pack's
What
full
the
face
fuck am I
value and
looking at?
points,
Some sort of
alongside several exclusive microtransactions.
Clear,
As always,
obscure,
the
Expedition
microtransactions in these
33
packs are
looking
purely cosmetic
painted
and
monster
do not affect
over
your
there.
character's power or progression in any way.
Oh, that fucking bird. It's gonna have fat.
The Justice series of supporter packs
little
contains
fatties.
6 exclusive microtransactions.
Oh, it's a griffin.
Claim glory after defeating enemies, or inspire your allies by calling down the Banner of Justice portal. The Sphinx Mystic hideout decoration will identify items for you, displaying them as it does so. This
That's
ancient creature has been presented with many items over the
kinda cool.
eons, so has some strong expressions
That's
to
kinda
make on
cool.
the quality of your wares. Become a true warrior, worthy of delivering
That
the
shit looks like
justice of the
ass.
eternal gods, with the Apostle of Justice armor set.
That looks like the level 1.
This armor set also
Monk
comes with a matching back
equipment.
attachment containing a set of scales to measure your worth. With the Apostle of Justice finisher effect equipped, the Goddess of Justice herself will appear to decide on a verdict for slain unique enemies.
Well, you can't have
Witness
the
as she
hooded one
decides
because
the
he
fate
no
of
longer
your slain
exists.
foes. Will they ascend to be amongst the gods or be banished to the
Comes in.
underworld?
Eh,
The Griffin fledgling pet will be your courageous companion as you journey throughout Rayclast.
oh, this pet is the highest tier. Why would they not bait people in with the lowest
Take your
tier?
place in the skies in the Plateau of the Gods hideout. This hideout comes with many different sections for setting up your home or base of operations.
That looks
In
kinda
order
cool.
to travel between them, you simply just need to walk off the edge. Like a true eternal god, you can float between the mountains on the clouds themselves.
Do you control your floating there, or is it like a
The
path?
Trathan Executioner
kinda-
pack series also contains 6 exclusive microtransactions. The Trathan Executioner finisher effect is a brutal display of Trathan
Why are they going so
crushing
into
slain
these
unique
fucking
enemies
finisher
as if they were
effects?
bugs beneath your heel.
It's so bad.
As a Trathan Executioner, you're the perfect master for the ever-hungry carrion raptor pet. It has taken a particular liking to the taste of
It's
other
doing
pets,
like the vulture thing.
and at your
The
command, it
fucking
will swoop
wings.
down and eviscerate them,
Oh my
proceeding
god.
to satisfy its hunger by
Wait,
feeding on their corpse.
that's sick. I think I'm getting that one.
The nobles of the 4 major Trathan
I'm
houses
so not
had their
interested in finisher
mercenaries,
effects. There's
but if
only
their hired
2 good
hands became
finisher effects in
notably
all of
irritating,
Path of Exile.
they'd have to call in the Trathan Executioners.
The Innocence
You
one
can
and
now
the
embrace their methods and become
the Shaper one.
brutality incarnate with the Cruel Trathan Executioner armor set. The matching Cruel Trathan Executioner cloak will shroud you in scarlet as you crush the skulls of your enemies and leave a trail of blood behind you as you build up a kill streak. Or use the alternate variant to simply put a skeleton on your back. Be bathed in blood as you mutilate monsters with the Cruel Trathan Executioner character effect. The swirling blood increases in
So
volume
far
as your
all I like is
spree
the
of
Identify
slaughter
guy and that
continues.
pet. The
Both
vulture
this
pet.
effect and the cloak use the same kill streak for tracking how much blood is shown. After a long and tiring day of executions, enjoy a relaxing game of dice with the Goblin Gambler's Hideout decoration.
Gambling.
They'll definitely be playing fair, right?
Holy shit.
The Pulverizer map device brings a horrid
a
efficiency to
map
punishing
device.
the damned of Trathus.
Oh my
Each
god.
map you open will execute the next victims.
Looks like some like
This map device in
Warhammer
its
shit.
true ruthlessness tracks the total number of monsters killed, your kills per second, and your largest kill streak up to the point of the map being completed. This is then displayed on a
yeah,
leaderboard,
this is the one.
so you can
This
take a
is the
measure
one.
of you and your friends' violence at the end of each map.
this is the map. This is the supporter
Additionally,
pack.
any microtransactions from the supporter packs will be made available for use in Path
It's
of
better
Exile
than
1.
the clock tower.
That's
It's
enough
the
about
clock tower, but
cosmetics.
just better.
Let's get into the Q&A. But firstly, I want to give
It's
a
big
huge
as fuck
thank you
though.
for your
I wonder if there's
ongoing
a smaller
support.
version.
We're just about to start the Q&A with Ziggy D.
Anything about this
at
Q&A?
11 a.m. NZ time or 4 p.m. Pacific, we'll post Path of Exile 2, the third Edict's patch notes. With the release at the end of next
very
week,
big.
our community team will be posting crucial information you need for the release. Keep an eye on the news. Thanks for joining us
Sound
today
fail again?
and checking out our latest developments. We're looking forward to seeing your experiences with Act 4 and its new bosses, fighting the Abyssal, trying new builds, and crafting new items. We'll begin the Q&A shortly, so please get your questions ready.
I watching a Darth microtransaction interview? Did they do a different interview with him or something? Wasn't that the one that they said that they weren't releasing the druid? That was the only. I was falling asleep and I was just doom scrolling, trying to go to sleep, and that was the clip I seen. They're not releasing any of the classes because the animation team is overworked, or they think their time could be better used. But I did not see anything. I'm in all the the subreddits and stuff. I'm getting stuff about people posting their rip clips. People asking questions about going from PoE 1 to PoE 2, but I have seen nothing in my feed about this league. It seems like a giant nothing burger there. The campaign stuff seems like it's fine, but the changes to the support gem system I don't think are very good. The new currency types I don't think are very good. I think the Abyss thing, it looks crazy good.
A suitably juicy Q&A session for you. Probably like 2
Why is the
hours,
audio
so
so bad? Why do they do this every league?
Grab a snack and
What the fuck? Abyss looks really good. Oh, it looks like they did a really good job with Abyss. I like the new Essence currency. That looks really good. I will have to feel out the weird little, activate 3 keys and 3 surrounding zones to do a special zone thing. I want to play Monk. monk looks a lot of fun with armed and like hollow palm. That looks like a lot of fun. I think the sprinting thing and the no shield charge cooldown is going to be really fast movement. Demon form looks like it's going to be really strong because you now get your weapon stats, which is crazy because it was already a really good ascendancy. So that's probably going to be a little broken. Yeah, demon form with weapons probably is. I think the Cholula thing is going to be the most useless thing I've ever seen, and it'll be 0%. It'll actually lose percentage. I don't know why the problem is there's just no chaos skills. There's nothing you could do to the ascendancy. There's just no chaos skills. There's nothing for them to use. It's already 0. It can't. I don't know how do they not see that that's the problem?
Move it into the end game too, so the end game kind of sees a big expansion as well. So yeah, it's been quite a good one.
Yeah, I remember early on we had
Tati is so messed up. It's like lagging and
wrote down every single problem.
It has a weird
and
filter put on it.
Yeah, not a strategy we've done to this degree, this methodically before.
With at max volume, it's not even hitting yellow on my
literally made a tier list up there. Like, this is T1, this is T2.
We actually fully of every problem, and you know there were things in there like performance and things that aren't necessarily the actual game content.
I don't know.
The very one at the top of the list was a slog, right? Like that was.
What else is good?
Things like that were just like because we're really trying to be honest.
The new skill, the Act 4. I guess I didn't really talk about it. The weird acts, but they're not acts, even though they have 7 zones in them, bosses and full storylines.
Well, a lot. And I'm sure if you knew problems.
It's kind of
obviously, as we're watching Twitch,
interesting.
Amount of stuff about towers. We had a plan. It just unfortunately we couldn't get time to sort it. So that's one of the. It's probably.
So I don't know what the deal with that is.
Kind of discuss around your vision and stuff for endgame soon as well. Say give people some reassurance about like where you want to go with that. But we should also mention just.
It seems good.
The lack of the elephant in the room. With the druid.
Form, but the druid kind of works. Did they say in there that there's you're playing through acts 1 through 4 now, and then there's the 3 after it? Do you just choose 2 of the 3 that then get to maps, or do you have to do all 3 after?
And that was the case for at least 2 months of the 4 months of development.
You do all 3, so now there's 7 acts.
That we had here, and obviously that could
as far as you know.
Before that as well. But
so
at some point we realized,
the campaign is just going to be longer because the Cruel Act 1 was super easy. So I'm assuming that Act 4 is probably going to be just as hard, if not harder, as Act 3 was.
We don't have the balance in like a good place. It kind of feels.
And then it's going to be 3 easier. They say smaller, but 7 zones per zone is not small. That's 7 bosses. It's actually better to cut the class and then per zone. What were they? Wait, if there's 7 bosses per zone, so that's what we ended up doing. And there's only he said 14 and they said 24. It means that some of those zones either have repeat bosses or they don't have a boss in them.
So therefore something had to go, and unfortunately that was it. But it means we've obviously got a huge head start for
X6 length though. But won't it be big? I just feel like I don't know. Maybe I feel like I have to play it to understand. It feels like it's just going to be longer. Because Act 4 is going to be like the time it would take you to go from Act probably our Cruel 1 to Cruel 2. Do both of those is probably going to take the time it takes to get through Act 4. Especially going in through. Should I do hardcore?
It's hard.
New bosses.
There's so much animation stuff that has to go into making.
I probably. I will just go hardcore and then if I die, I'll just play through. Keep playing through until I beat it. And then I'll go again. That's what I'll do.
Might be, yeah.
I think it will be.
Yeah.
You're getting a bit more ambitious as you go with each class.
That is true. That is true. Every class is a step up from the last.
Why not just announce that you completed all the acts and say these are the new acts, and then just say later and like in future leagues be like, we have act expansions.
So you know, that's
Just something on the side we were working on, and then just release like the fly.
to be honest, it is.
Feels like a marketing
I'd say that
error there.
It's real weird.
So,
What is the third edict part about this whole thing as well?
People can infer from that some sort of duelist or something, most likely.
Why is it called third edict?
Yeah, and as you said, the sentences are just kind of the same boat as you weren't satisfied with where they were out to be able to get those in. So that's the things you missed, but that's like.
And I'm converting to the
doing something
text based on.
So now we can talk about.
My guess is they'll just be side areas.
First, since I know people, the towers and stuff have been a hot topic for people, so we'll talk about the end game. This wasn't ostensibly supposed to be an end game
in Act 4,
from what you
or an end game.
But it still seems like a pretty big end game.
League mechanics are supposed to refer to end game,
part
but
of that is because we obviously get all the content that we
acceptable, I
produce
guess.
for the campaign. We get to make all the end game versions of that. That obviously adds quite a lot. But we did want to make sure that we weren't just being like, okay, so we're adding a bunch of bosses. Like, we wanted to make sure that the more epic ones that we added to the campaign have some new mechanic for them on the Atlas as well. So that's where we had those various mechanics with, you know, like the sandstorm and that kind of stuff. Like, you know, those kind of like Atlas events. And it really does contribute to the feeling of exploration. All that stuff. And then, of course, you know, once you got that, you start getting into, okay, well,
you said something about spirits earlier, but I
we need a new category
got distracted.
that these things can have, and that's, you know, we started talking about the lineage supports and that kind of stuff. So it just ended up kind of adding up to quite a bit in the end. But yeah, it isn't like kind of like the big end game change that we wanted to do. Like, we had a design for that, but we just kind of haven't quite got to it. So but it still ends up being quite a lot. And one of the big things that it also I think will help bridge is the kind of mid-end game part. You know, like that's still a problem that we want to improve. But yeah, like it adds quite a lot there, because, you know, you're seeing that stuff on the Atlas.
Holy fuck, that bot is like going hard. He just got banned 3 times by my auto mod.
Issue where effectively
Jesus.
And we are doing some stuff to address this, but effectively you've got like the pinnacles at the end, and you've got like obviously when you start you've got a bunch of content, but it doesn't feel like there's those kind of mid-end game goals that you can easily achieve. That's kind of the issue.
But the wisps will still be in the campaign though.
Really guiding, like the narrative kind of falls apart.
Patch note's still not out.
It's just like open world, and you want a bit more of, you know, telling you where to go, what to do. Have those goals where you're like, I want to do this next and this next, as opposed to like I could do this or this or this. It's nice to have those, but it's nice to also have the things kind of directing you as to like, this is exactly what I want to do.
Abyss looked like it was still in
there's kind of just a big gap there. We want to add a whole bunch of stuff in the middle there. We have a huge plan, but again, it's like, we need to you got this working on a campaign.
It looked like it was still in that zone.
And you got all these like, how do you juggle all of these things? It is brutally difficult, and you end up having to think. So I would expect, you know, next
because it was like the witch's hut. The guy was kiting around.
Because you know, it was on the whiteboard.
But we did do some stuff with what we had. So like that.
Well, I don't think I'm gonna watch the rest of this.
It doesn't look like much from what we showed, but what it does mean is that you've got pinnacle fights earlier in your in the experience.
I probably won't be streaming until this day, until the release day of it.
The access to the by having it so that it's cheaper to get to the lower tier ones.
I'm working on something,
and I think that'll improve quite a lot even just from that.
Right now, I want to go quick.
You got the league now in endgame as well.
And of course
I've been doing some bread making recently.
Sure, wasn't really a league.
I want to make some
just like you know,
not a
not what we've done before. And a lot of people in PoE may not really even know what a league
rosemary.
is. I mean, we kind of had it with Dawn of the Hunt. I mean, having Abyss in every single area. There are
I can't say that it's a Portuguese
icons
word.
you can find on the map. You can't add them because they are in every area. The Abyss. So
and
you have, you know, different the waystone crafting and stuff like that. So there's a lot of end game just added by the league's existence as well.
Plus a lot more combination of the league mechanic with other mechanics as well, which is something that I'm always keen for with leagues, is like have a bit more interaction.
Yeah, you were telling me that you had specifically made it.
I made pretzels.
Have specific interactions
the other
with
day.
Basically everything else.
For sure.
And
the Rogue Exiles saying you get a special boss. Based on
raviolis.
Exile, so
and
a rather interesting
some other
stuff there
from scratch.
It is interesting because this is a league mechanic. It's in every zone. It's guaranteed. That's part of a league mechanic. But
dry
does
brick
this also
bread
have,
to
like,
me.
Atlas
It's
tree
like
integration in the way that
it's
was
kind of the
done?
purpose of it. It's like a really dry bread.
No, not the
but
the
then
way
you
that's kind of
usually
through some of the waystone
you dip it
crafting.
with like a olive oil and like a balsamic vinaigrette or something like that.
We obviously do the whole. Again,
So it's like a
maybe
dip
don't know what
bread.
a league is and how we handle the stuff in PoE.
Or you put it with
I'll over-explain it a little
I
bit.
guess a
But
soup or
generally
something.
we review the state of it at the end. We see what changes we want to make. Sometimes we add it
I have
to
the pictures
core
of the
game
pretzel, but
immediately.
they're
Sometimes
on my
later.
phone.
And then we add it to
I didn't upload
the
them,
tree and
so I
decide
can't
how we want to
show them.
invest into all the different things.
I'll just put them in Discord.
We try and have the meta progression,
But,
so to speak, of a league within the leagues.
All right, I'll catch you, I think, then.
To the, like, core tree, because
there's nothing new. There's no news about anything else stuff.
But in this case, it comes in.
Wasn't there a last Epoch League? You know, you mentioned it. Is there, what's the deal with that? What's happening there?
It's not a separate tree, and that was during Necropolis.
What was the dealio with that?
Every year you have to take it.
Yes, exactly.
So that didn't work. We're not going to repeat that mistake. It could be a separate tree, but we just did it through the Waystone crafting style instead, and you can invest in the Abyss and juice the Abyss that way. And
I mean, we'll see how we fold it all in as we go into the 040 though. Like, that'll be an interesting one.
All right. Well, one of the kind
of
was
that today?
I've identified in the past was kind of how the Atlas
That's today. The league for this launched today. That's fucking crazy.
Well, that's what I'm talking about with the lack of mid-game stuff, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that's changed now though. Like the league mechanics don't.
The new season is today.
Just about what the content is in maps.
Yeah, and you get the points way earlier.
What is the?
Some of them, yeah. We made some changes to that actually as well.
What is the league? It's like it's actually like a league, right? Primal Hunt. Some boss thing. The Ancient Era. New bosses in it. The Lich and Necromancer changes, some quality of life. That's it. Okay, whatever. Are there drops for last Epoch? Yes, there is. 8 drops. What is happening? How am I so fucking out of the loop with these games? How did the PoE 1-2 content stuff release? Was there anything on Twitter? Was there anything on Reddit? Was there any announcement that they were going to be doing that? Where was the announcements for this? I feel like if the only place that I would have seen it is my bot in Discord, but I fucking rarely check that. And then this last Epoch, I just remembered your message, and I was just like, oh yeah, there's a last Epoch one coming out, right? Like, why why do this on the exact, didn't they do this on the last patch too? Why are they doing it at the exact same time as the PoE launches? Why are they doing this? And not just doing it in the middle? Wait a month before or a month after.
Dude, McChicken's like giga scam, dude.